What does it mean to be kind?
When I have a worry-filled mind, I like to wander outside. No telling what we might find. Birds calling, worms crawling, leaves falling down from above. Oh, I plant my feet on the ground. I keep my head in the clouds. I let my feelings out loud. I hear joy calling, fear crawling, tears falling down out of love.
Welcome, friends. This is A here. I'm so glad you've decided to join me today. We're going to start with a zones check-in. And if you've visited with me before, you know that we always start by checking in with our brains and bodies. And I'm going to tell you a bit about these color zones here in case you don't know yet or you've forgotten. And then I'm going to ask you to find an object that matches the zone that you're in right now. Now, each zone represents a different way we may be feeling, and none of them are good or bad. They just change throughout the day, just like our feelings change throughout the day. Sometimes we may be feeling slow moving, maybe a little tired or sick, sad or lonely. That means we're in the blue zone. Sometimes we're feeling really focused, really confident, comfortable, or clear-headed. That means we're in the green zone. Other times we feel like we're losing control. We feel like we're confused or worried, unsure or anxious. That means we're in the yellow zone. And other times we have lost control. We feel really overwhelmed. We may feel really angry. We may feel like our brain is messy or crowded, and that means we are in the red zone. Now, as I said, there are no good or bad zones, but I'd like you to pick the zone you're in right now and find an object that matches your color zone. I'll do the same. Did you find an object? I have a green crayon here. I am feeling really focused, really clear-headed, so I'm in the green zone right now. Earlier today, I was feeling really slow-moving. I was in the blue zone, and so I decided to move my body. I took a walk, I drank some water, and I started to feel like I was waking up a bit. And something we always talk about here are different tools and strategies we can use if we're feeling stuck in our emotions or feeling like we can't get out of a certain zone and we want to. Sometimes we feel really out of control, but we want to feel more comfortable or settled. Other times, like me, we feel really slow moving, we're tired, and we want to feel awake and ready to go. And so we talk about different strategies in my mindful moments at the end of each episode, and oftentimes right at the beginning when we do our feelings check-in too. Be sure to hit that red subscribe button if you'd like to hear more about the different tools and strategies. And of course, you can go back and watch previous episodes to get other ideas of what you can do if you're feeling stuck in a certain zone at a moment. One thing we'll practice together is moving our bodies. And we often do a different exercise each week to help us try out some different moves and get some examples of what we can do if we ever want to use movement or moving our bodies as a strategy. We're going to use the month to help us out. We're also going to check in with our friend Fig. Let's start with them. Fig always shows us one of the moves that we will do. You can see how their body is shaped. You can think about the muscles they're using. You can make some guesses on the exercise we'll do. But first, we're going to start with 11 moves. And why 11, you might ask? That's because we use the month to help us, and November is the 11th month of the year. So we are going to start with 11 shoulder rolls. You can do these sitting or standing. You can do them together or one at a time, whatever feels best for you. We're going to count up to 11 as we roll our shoulders. let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Awesome job. Next, we have Fig's move to do. And it looks like they are standing tall. And they have their right hand reaching down to their left foot. Oh, they're doing toe touches, and they're doing it to their opposite side. So if you start with your right hand up, reach down to your left foot. If you start with your left hand up, reach down to your right foot. And you can start whichever side you'd like. Switch it up or stick with one. I'm going to be switching as we count to 10. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome work. And finally, we are going to do one less than 10 for our next move. We had 11, then 10, then 9. Yes, we are going to do 9 lunges. Lunges require us to stand. So if you're able, stand up. And we are going to put one leg out in front of us and one leg stretched back. And all we need to do is bend down, almost till our knees touch the ground. We're going to do this 9 times. You can switch sides if you'd like. Let's do it all on one side. Let's count to 9 as we do lunges. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We did it. Now, anytime we move our body or raise our heart rate, it's really good for us to cool back down and slow our heart rate back down. That's one way we help build that heart muscle. So, when you hear a bell, take a big breath in and then slowly let it out. Let's do it. Fabulous job, friends. I hope you're feeling a little more settled or comfortable in your body right now. Now, I have been so excited to be sharing about kindness. I've recently shared a book all about kindness, and today I asked you, what does it mean to be kind? We're going to talk a bit more about that in our message, so let's open it up. Now, as always, you can look for hidden alliterations, onomatopoeias, or spoonerisms. See if you can spot any as we read. Hello, helpers! World Kindness Day was yesterday, but kindness is something that can be practiced every day. Did you celebrate in some sweet, loving, or wonderful way? Maybe you caked baked cookies for a neighbor, picked up trash at the park, made marvelous music to brighten someone's day. Kindness can certainly transform a person's day and even life. So I'm super stoked to share some books about all the amazing ways we can be kind every day. Do you have any favorite ways to spread kindness? Love, Mrs. A. Do you have any favorite ways to spread kindness? Maybe you're feeling stumped. Maybe you're thinking, I'm not sure how to be kind. What does it mean to be kind? Well, I have some amazing books that I'm really excited to share with you. And as always, you can grab any of these books from your local bookstore or your library. And you can also visit the link in my description, which will help connect you to a local bookstore or an independent bookstore near you. While you're down there, make sure to hit that red subscribe button if you haven't yet. Now, let's check out some of these wonderful books. This first one is such a great introduction because it reminds us that there are good people everywhere. It is written by Linnea Gillen, illustrated by Christina Swarner. And I love that this book makes us think about all of the people, all of the good people everywhere that are doing such wonderful, good things. Today, in neighborhoods all over the world, millions and millions of people are doing very good things. Today, carpenters are building fences and houses and repairing homes that have been damaged by storms. Have you ever seen someone or been a part of a group that helps repair something or fix a home? Today, moms and dads are cooking dinners for their family, and cooks are working in kitchens, making meals for people who don't have homes. And if you grab this book, you'll see it goes on to talk about all of the other good people and all of the wonderful things that they're doing around the world. And it reminds me that it's so nice to be kind to everyone we meet, because there are so many good people doing so many good things. And I know that you're one of them. And hopefully you can continue to spread that kindness and do all of those good things in your own neighborhood. Now, this next book is a story about a girl named Annabelle, and she does some really good things and spreads kindness throughout her entire neighborhood. And I am so inspired by this story called Extra Yarn. It is by Mac Barnett, illustrated by John Klassen. And I really love this one, the story of Annabelle, and listen to what she does. So she went home and knit herself a sweater. And when Annabelle was done, she had some extra yarn. So she knit a sweater for Mars too. But there was still extra yarn. I love that Annabelle started by making sure she had a comfortable, cozy, warm sweater for herself. She was kind to herself. And then she realized, oh, I have extra yarn, so I'm going to knit a sweater for my dog, Mars. She's spreading kindness. Let's see what happens next. And when Annabelle and Mars went for a walk, Nate pointed and laughed and said, "You two look ridiculous." "You're just jealous," said Annabelle. "No, I'm not," said Nate. What do you think might happen next? But it turned out he was. And even after she had made a sweater for Nate and his dog, and for herself and for Mars, she still had extra yarn. So she took Nate's mean remark and she did something kind. She made him and his dog a sweater. At school, Annabelle's classmates could not stop talking about her sweater. "Quiet!" shouted Mr. Norman. "Quiet, everyone! Annabelle, that sweater of yours is a terrible distraction. I cannot teach with everyone turning around to look at you." "Then I'll knit one for everyone," Annabelle said, "so they won't have to turn around." "Impossible," said Mr. Norman. "You can't." Do you think Annabelle can? Do you think she can knit everyone in her class a beautiful sweater? You'll have to grab your own copy of Extra Yarn to find out. But as I said, I just love this story. It really inspires me to spread kindness, no matter where I am. Last, but certainly not least, we have the book Be Kind. And this one is by Pat Zitlow Miller, illustrated by Jen Hill. And this is such a great book for helping us understand what it means to be kind, and gives us a lot of specific ideas and ways that we can be kind too. Let's look at some pages together. I almost told Tanisha that art was my favorite class, but I didn't want her to leave again. So I painted purple splotches and added some green till I had a bunch of beautiful violets. While I painted, I thought about Tanisha. Should I have handed her my napkin, let her borrow my sweatshirt, spilled my juice so everyone stared at me instead? What does it mean to be kind anyway? So here our character is wondering, what does it mean to be kind? She just had a friend spill juice on herself, and she was really embarrassed because friends were looking and pointing and laughing, so she left the cafeteria. so she's not sure how she could have helped Tanisha. Let's see. Maybe it's giving, making cookies for Mr. Rinaldi who lives alone. Letting someone with smaller feet have my too tight shoes. He might win races in them too. Maybe it's helping, putting dirty dishes in the sink, cleaning up after Otis, our class guinea pig. He's a messy eater. Maybe it's paying attention, telling Desmond I liked his blue boots, asking the new girl to be my partner, listening to Aunt Franny's stories, even ones I've heard before. Being kind should be easy, like throwing away a wrapper, or recycling a bottle, or saying, "Thank you, bless you." My mom says the quickest way to be kind is to use people's names. Hey Kayla, what's new, Omar? Good afternoon, Rabbi Mandelbaum. Did you know that one way you can be kind is just by using people's names? The names they like to be called in the way they like to pronounce them. What a simple way that we can all be kind. Now, as I said, this book, Be Kind, has a bunch of beautiful examples, and they're all things that we can do right now. Nothing too big or too fancy that we'd have to wait to do another day. I hope this book and these books inspire you to go out and be kind right where you are, right this moment. Now, of course, being kind to others is really, really wonderful, but it starts by being kind to ourselves. We talked about that a bit in my previous episode. If you haven't watched it already, I would encourage you to check it out. But I wanted us to do a mindfulness activity that also reminds us it's important for us to be kind to ourselves as well as the people around us. And it's a mindful stretch called a hug. Now, what you need to do is sit up tall or stand up tall. And as we breathe in, stretch out your arms big and wide. So wide that your arms are maybe touching the other sides of your room. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then as we breathe out, you're going to wrap yourself in a hug. And this is going to hopefully remind you to be kind to yourself and love yourself, just as you spread out the love and kindness to others. We're going to do this for 3 big breaths. Are you ready? One more, make it your biggest breath yet. Friends, how are you feeling after trying that mindful hug? What do you notice about your brain or your body? Thank you so much for sharing, and thanks for trying out that mindfulness activity. As I said, there's a different mindfulness activity at the end of each of my episodes, so be sure to check them all out and see which ones feel best for you or feel like a good fit for your body. Before we go, I wanted to remind you that I love you because you're you, not because of what you do. And I can't wait to see you next time.